James Robert Elliott here. I'm here with Jeff Spain, Senior Vice President at Chesapeake Life Insurance Company, which is a division of United Healthcare. Want to talk to today about wrestling with business. And these are the three sets that you need for success. And what we're going to talk to today with Jeff is learning some of the most important things for success, and from someone like Jeff, who is a highly influential senior vice president. So he's got a lot of great things to say. Welcome, Jeff. Thanks for being on my show.
Hey, James. It's great to be here. I appreciate your time today. Thank you.
My pleasure, brother. My pleasure. It's good to have you. Good to have you, sir. So wrestling for success. Let's talk about this. And tell me, we were talking earlier about these three sets, because you said it's one of the most important things, in your leadership, and one of the most important things for success for people. Tell me about the three sets, and let's talk to those and what these really important things are for people, whether they're managing a team, they're a leader, maybe they're just managing themselves and trying to be successful.
Sure. I came up with this and the book that Wrestling with Business, and the three sets that are needed from my background. I do not have a sales background. I don't have a business background. James, I was actually I started out my career as a chiropractor. So I have a degree in anatomy, and then the doctor of chiropractic degree. And I was in an accident and lost the use of a lot of my right hand. And there wasn't much of a market for a one-handed chiropractor out there. So I had to go out and find something else to do. I taught school for a while and enjoyed that, but you just don't make a real good living at that. I wanted my wife to stay at home with the kids, so I got into sales, and I found that I had a pretty a unique set of skills to make myself successful in sales. And I got that, I think, from my wrestling background. I was a high school wrestler. I wrestled for the University of Nebraska back in the day, a long time ago. It's been many years. Like wrestlers go by, I wrestled about 50 pounds ago. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
So when I analyzed what was, what made me good in sales, and I looked back, and it was my wrestling background and the things that I learned there that carried over into the world of business. And part of that was the sets that I think that you need. Wrestling is 3 periods, and in that you need certain things to be successful. And what I've done on the business side of it is you have a tool set, you have a skill set, and you have a mindset. And so now that I'm at United Healthcare, it's our job as a team leader at United Healthcare to give our agents, our employees, the tools to succeed. And they shouldn't have to create those tools. We should give those to our employees so that they have that. So in my case, it's a point of sale tool. It's products that they can sell. It's the right commissions at the right rates for the consumer to purchase. Those are things, they're table stakes. You have to have that to enter the game. And the tool set, as you know, it evolves daily, it evolves monthly, yearly, with innovations of where the consumer wants to be met, whether it's through a broker channel, a direct consumer channel, over the phone, call center type sale. So you have to adapt those tool sets to the distribution model that you're at and how you contact that consumer. So that's the first tool set that we work on, but it's a carrier that has to get that done. So I want to spend more time today talking about our employees and the people that we work with to make them successful. And I think that gets me to the second set. And that second set is a skill set. It's part of my job to evaluate my team, see where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are, and give them the tools to succeed. Not only the tools to succeed, the skill set to succeed. And so I'm in sales, right? So we look at, do you follow a sales process? Do you know how to prospect? Do you set an agenda with achievable goals that you want to get through that first business meeting? Do you know how to ask the right questions?
Yeah.
Do you know how to listen? It's so many salespeople, they don't know how to listen. They don't listen to understand. They listen to respond. Yeah. So that's one thing I probably work with my team the most on right now is asking the right questions, then listen to understand. Uh, so we have tool set, we have a skill set, and the last thing, of course, in any athletic event, but in business as well, is your mindset. And how do you approach your day? What's your mindset? If you're in constant and anxiety or stress, your agents and your employees, they pick up on that,
Sure.
and
Sure.
it brings you down. So you have to, my job every day is to motivate my team, keep them in the right mindset to be successful. And sometimes that can be hard to do. You've heard this before. Motivation is like bathing. You have to do it every day to make it effective. And I think that's really true with your employees, especially salespeople, because we get told no a lot,
Sure.
and to be able to be resilient and have some grit and come back from those no's and learn from that and stay motivated and stay positive is key. So those are the three sets that I think are valuable to success, and I think that's what I've learned and helped me drive forward.
I love that. I love that a lot, actually. And like, well, I mean, let me touch on one thing. Like you said, some people are not good. A lot of people, in fact, are not great at listening, and it's really a shame because there's so much to be gained by actually properly listening to people. To your point, I think a lot of people are listening to, like you said, respond, listening just to sell. It's okay. Are they going to shut up and buy my thing? And or are they going to hurry up and get out of my office because I got to get this other stuff done, versus
Yeah.
actually listening to teams, to employees, to customers. And I think that really harms our results. It harms, especially long term, harms
Yeah.
trust, it harms relationships.
Yeah.
So I think that was a very, very valuable thing to touch on. And like you said, mindset too. I mean, as Winston Churchill said, success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And
True.
people are told no every day. Stuff happens to us every day. Stuff blows up every day. Things don't work. Certain things don't work for us every day. And like you said, we're told no as salespeople, even as leaders. I suppose we're told no by people as well if we're looking to get something for our teams or create something or do something different. As leaders, sometimes we can be told no, and it can be very frustrating and very
Absolutely.
empowering as well.
Yeah. One of the things that I learned on the, we're in a selfish society today, and the selfie is the big thing. And that shows that we're a selfish society, that we think about ourselves first. The number of selfies that are taken out there is, we couldn't count them. It's astronomical. But, when I visit with my team or visit with an agent, I like to summarize what I just heard. Okay, let me hear this correctly. Is this are we on the same page? And kind of summarize a little bit what they just said. And if they agree with it, then I validated them and that I listened to what they did have to say. And with that, it's usually you find something inside of that where you can say, well, tell me a little bit more about this. Tell me what you feel about that. I don't quite understand. And it gets them to come with giving me more information on a problem that they may have. And that's where you want to get down to the root of it anyway, whether it be you're in a sales process or you're coaching your team, your individual, is to get down to the root of it. And what's causing this anxiety or this stress or this discomfort or unhappiness, whatever it may be, the problem that they have, and not having enough sales, not making enough income, whatever it may be. It comes down to drilling in, and the more you ask for those questions, the more feedback you're going to get.
I think you're right. And listening, like you said, it's listening and getting down to that root. And a lot of people don't listen, or they don't go deeper. Okay, so your problem is this. Okay, great. Let's talk about that. But when, as you just said, often it's there's a process called, the 5 whys. There's another process called going 7 levels deeper, because you're right that usually it's not the first thing they say or the service thing. It's not even maybe the second or third. What does it really bother them, or why is really that important to them? And I think if we can connect that to our leadership of people, or we can connect that to our customers and find out what's really actually critically and emotionally important, since we're all emotional creatures, I think we can motivate people to do better. We can motivate them to inspire them to buy from us and choose us versus someone else. We can motivate them to take action towards their goals and their dreams, and like you said, have that positive mindset. Even sometimes if we have to fake it till we make it at first, and be more positive, be more powerful, be more enthusiastic, and then the brain doesn't know the difference between real and make believe. The unconscious mind rather doesn't know the difference between real and make believe. So that is a way where we can authentically and ethically fake it till we make it.
You know, and you've been on sales calls before, and especially, you know, and I did this myself. A lot of salespeople, they get in and they just throw up a bunch of information. They talk for 20 minutes and they're telling the person everything they know, everything they think they should know.
Exactly.
And everything you might be telling might be facts, and you might be really smart, but it might not be what they want to hear. And if you don't connect with that person at the beginning and throughout the process, you're going to lose them. People, especially your clients, people you're working with, they love to talk about themselves.
Yes.
Just as we do. You
yes,
know,
exactly.
We've been talking here for a few minutes. I've talked about myself the entire time, right? So, but people love to talk about themselves. So when you ask them, how did you get to this point, and what makes you say that, and how do you feel about this, and you notice those are all open-ended questions. It's not a yes no. I want the person to talk and express more.
True.
And that's part of the relationship building. And relationship building isn't always social. There's business relationship that has to be established in a business setting, and those are business questions, and that's how you get those, are open-ended business question. And I think those are very, you know, I've had people tell me, boy, you're really quiet. Well, you know what? I listened to everything you had to say. So let me see if I have this right. And I think that's been a lot of my success as a leader and as a salesperson, was the ability to listen.
I think you're right. And then you're right, because a lot of people just listen, like you said, listening to respond. They're not really listening. And people can even tell that you're just listening to respond, listening to sell, listening to get your idea in. People can tell easily. I mean, you know, words are only 7% of communication. Body language is almost 50%.
Yeah. Well, think about that, James. That same thing. This happened to me the other day. Somebody asked me about how my sister-in-law just had a surgical procedure. How is she doing? And I told them, and they responded with, well, this is what happened to me when I was injured. You know, so what they asked about went right over their head. They responded. They listened to respond, and you get that a lot. And when you really think about the conversations you have with people, you tell them something that might be vital, and they respond with what happened to them. You know, did they really hear you or not? I don't know.
Exactly. Are they being with you for a moment versus trying to, and it might be a way to try and connect with you. Oh, wow. Well, it might be a way to unconsciously or consciously, you know, create, you know, rapport or understanding, or say, hey, I get it. But you're right. It's like, well, I'm sorry to hear that. And that's, are you okay? What you need around that? And
exactly.
Doing, yeah. And then, you know, cause I hear it sucks. I had this, or with my mom or my dad or my whatever. But yeah, at least being, I was on a mastermind one time, and we were doing role playing. And one person was talking about themselves and say, oh yeah, this and this, and I'm having trouble with that and that. And the person talking said, cool. Okay, well, I was like, no, you know, not cool if they're pouring their heart out and they're saying something's going wrong. You know, it's like, pause and be like, oh my God, because the person just wanted to let them finish so they could do their pitch, and we were role playing, luckily. So, but I mean, the other person was being truthful and honest with something that was going on, so they were offended and they were bothered. And it's okay, you know, be with it, and how can you be empathetic to people and actually listen versus dismissing and moving on for whatever your agenda is. And to your point, people do it all the time. I think a lot of it is unconscious, or because we're so anxious to get stuff done, or, oh, I'm on to the next thing, or I have this to do and that to do and that to do. Cool. Okay. Well, guess what? Here's this and this and this. I think in our own lives of not being present, not being here now, we're always, what's the next thing I got to do, or next thing I'm worried about? It can pull us away. You're right, from being,
that's a great point. You mentioned it, in basically what I heard you say was be in the moment. And it's how many times I did this with my wife the other day. I felt horrible. She was telling me something, and something hit me with that she said that I had to respond to somebody else on an email, and it upset her, it made her feel bad. But I wasn't in the moment with her,
Mm,
and you have to take those times and put that cell phone down,
true.
hide it so you can't see it, and be in the moment and truly feel what that person is expressing to you, and especially with the people you love the most, because that's who you seem like we always take for granted
True.
and take it out on.
Mm.
And when that happened, I felt horrible, but I'll do it again. That's what we do. So
We're humans, and we at least recognize the patterns and making efforts to change. And you can even I even suggest saying to people, whether it's your team or your employees, and I say to my people, hey, if I do this or I do that, can you please bring it up, because I'm making a conscious effort to stop. So let me know. I'm not going to be offended. In fact, I'll get mad if you don't do this, because I want to change. I want to be better.
yeah,
But you're right. We do it. We do
yeah,
it.
very
I
true.
like, I like how you brought up the point too of repeating back to people. So this is what I got from your conversation. Is that correct? Just so I know I've heard you right, or I've learned, this is what I got. Something I learned at IBM as well, and something I teach people in my NLP, communications and neurolinguistic programming and leadership courses, is you may actually want to almost parrot them verbatim. Use their buzzwords, use their keywords, even though it may seem awkward or uncomfortable, because those are the words that's going to activate their brain, their pay attention systems. Yeah, you heard me right. As if they say, I don't know, I need a kick-ass sales solution, you better say, so I get it. You need a kick-ass sales solution, because that's going to light them up. Yes, oh my gosh, they get me, they understand me. Versus totally verbatim, or the first you want to often parrot it back, and then we can okay, and just so I make sure I get it then, and I get the gist of it, so I get it, my understanding, and then you can do more of a paraphrase, or this is what I got out of that. But it is interesting. We thought they were crazy back at IBM teaching us these tools, repeat back what the customer said verbatim, and I'm like, this sounds so dumb. You sound like parrots. But it works. It can generate trust and rapport, and you don't have to be a tape recorder. However, you do want to use their keywords, their buzzwords, a lot of what they've said, versus completely paraphrasing. Again, because their brain, their pay attention system, which is called our reticular activating system, our RAS, may not pick it up. They're like, yeah, and or thinking they'll say yes, but their brain's like, yeah, they sort of got it. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's a little
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, there's a great book out there by the name of The Science of Selling by David Holfield.
Huh.
It's a great book about, and he talks a lot about the neurolinguistics that you're researching there, but also he talks about um, heuristics and how word phrases can help people make decisions faster. And one of a key one is just, it's up to you. You take the pressure off on a sales situation. Well, it's up to you. Here's what, and another one's like a peer pressure. Or here's what other people in your situation have done. So it kind of it lowers the level of anxiety, puts it back to them, so they're making the decision. But it's a great book by Dave Holfield. I've been able to listen to him speak as well. He did a little seminar for us, and it's a nice book, well worth the read.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for that. I like it. I like it. I might get the Audible I can read. I can give it a listen as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm amassing all these books that I'm having trouble catching up with. So what you to do,
Yes.
I'll do that. Or there's Blinkist too. I love Blinkist. It's kind of like, it's a quick read. Basically, it'll talk to you about it, or it will give you like a actual, you can read it. You can read the short list. So yeah, but it's kind of neat. So
Okay.
Blinkist,
I haven't
that's
heard of
how I
that.
read so many books, unless I actually want the full book, which I have to do as well. So food for thought. Yeah.
Good.
So that's cool. So talk to us a little more about how to push and or motivate people, please. When many people are either in the holding pattern, like now, I find after COVID, everyone's still in this holding pattern, wait and see. They're uncertain, or they're waiting to get certainty. And in my opinion, the only way to get certainty is to create it for yourself and take action and see what happens. But again, the people in this fear, worry, uncertainty, wait and see, whether they get a new job or go for a promotion or ask for a raise or anything. Any suggestions for people or to start something new as a business person, as a leader, as an entrepreneur? How would you recommend people push and motivate and inspire people to move?
Well, I tell this to myself all the time, and I tell it to my employees,
Mhm.
and it's so easy. Well, yeah, I know that. You can only control what you control. I don't control inflation right now.
Mm.
There's nothing I could do to change that. It's
Sure.
it's it's impacted our business, and our sales are down right now as wallet share is really
Mm.
shrunken. I don't know the right word, but I mean, and
Sure.
and it's stressful for people. When sales go down, big companies start making cuts,
Yep.
right? And we're all in that fear all the time. So, what I can't control that. So what I can control is what I do every day and my mental approach to that every day. So we try to get our team into a confluency of just a groove of, start your day with this, do your morning routine, do your greatest impact activities, your high income skills, do that every day in a regular, methodical way. Communicate with me on a regular basis, communicate with your peers on a regular basis. Avoid Fox News, CNN, everything that's negative, negative, negative.
Mm.
Just avoid it. Don't bring in poison into your system.
Right on.
If you're with people that want to argue about it and discuss about it and have arguments, don't hang around with those people. Go with things that feed you in a positive manner. There's a lot of positivity out there if we look for it, but you might have to create that. But that's up to you to create that mindset, that positive mindset. And the biggest thing is avoid the cancers that are out there that bring you down.
Yes.
Be positive about it.
I think you're right. Whether it's people or news or media or naysayers or even sometimes family. I mean, sometimes our family is the worst
Oh yeah,
offenders for bringing
yeah,
us down or telling us we can or it won't work or, oh, no, stay there or don't do that or do this or don't do this. And I think you're right. We need boundaries and sometimes we need to let people go. I mean, as you've probably heard, the saying, we're a top reflection, the top 5 to 10 people we spend the most time with. So I say to
yeah.
people, choose freaking wisely because it makes a big difference. And if you have I mean, we all have crappy days. I'm a high energy guy, but I have crappy days sometimes and I get down sometimes. Um, I think it's very important to have people that can lift you up and snap you out of it
Yeah,
quickly. And it will also
yeah.
call you on your stuff and check in on you frequently because we all have.
Absolutely, and that's what I've appreciated about you. You've reached out to me. We just visit about things. I mean, everybody needs a coach and a mentor,
Right on.
someone to share with, and I appreciate you having, like I said, different people like yourself in my life. My college wrestling coach, my high school wrestling coach. There's people I go
Right on.
back to.
Yep.
Some of the kids that I coached when I was a school teacher for a short time, still stay in
Oh,
touch with those folks.
wow.
And I think that's important that you have someone that is a positive mentor coach in your life.
I think you're right. I completely agree. I always joke, beware of a coach without a coach. I have two official and one unofficial, but it's you're right. It's power. It's useful. You're growing always, and they can remind you that there's lots of good stuff in the world and lots of bad stuff in the world, and you're gonna feel what you focus on. So choose wisely and focus on what you want. And like you said, in the morning, put on some kind of positive motivational thing versus
Mhm.
checking the news or whatever and our brains respond to negative. We're wired to pay attention to negative things because in the past it kept us alive when we were cavemen and cavewomen. Now, not so much, but our brain still pays attention to that. So, people pay attention to negativity. So what's on the news? Negativity. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
choose wisely. And any last thoughts to leave people with, Jeff? What can we leave people with here? What do you think?
Well, yeah, go kind of my wrestling with business book. The one thing that got me started is one of my first high school coaches. He told me at a very young age, Jeff, there's going to be a lot of reasons why you lose a wrestling match. It
Hmm.
could be the other guy is just bigger and stronger than you are. The other guy might have been wrestling a lot more years than you have, and he's got better technique, better skill set. But never get beat because you got tired.
Hmm.
And that's got me into sales is, while other people are out playing golf or relaxing, I'm going to work. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to be the hardest worker out there. So when in doubt, work harder. Yeah, there's harder and smarter. You figure that out as you work harder. You'll
Hmm.
figure out what your greatest impact activities are. So in a season like this of so many unknowns, don't be afraid to just work harder. Put your nose to the grindstone, put your 8 hours in a day, make it worth is everything you're doing right now helping me reach that goal? And if it's not helping me reach that goal, then why am I doing it? So you've got your goal. And if you don't have goal set, then we got a whole new conversation.
Exactly.
But,
It's a
but yeah,
start.
just
That's a
when in
starting
doubt,
point.
When in doubt, work hard. There you go.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Amazing. This has been great, Jeff Spain. Thank you so much, guys. Check out Jeff's book, Wrestling with Business, Jeff Spain, on Amazon. And I'm looking forward to receiving your book as well, Jeff. And I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for being here, creating some value for the world, and helping me do what I love.
Thanks, James. Appreciate you.